Hello, Olivia.
Hi.
Hey. So thank you for taking time out of your day. Especially, I know you did a live event yesterday evening. So thank you for taking time out to just chat with me about what you're doing now for your business, and also just the journey of what it's been like to discover a new way, be on a journey with me and like-minded practitioners, and to make the decision to just really do this, which you're now doing this. So kind of before we dive in, I think the best way to start is like, what are you like, because you're is it EMDR practitioner? Remind me of your field in.
EMDR Practitioner, Integrative Counsellor, and Clinical Supervisor.
Yes, that was right. And so what your mission now, who do you help, and what is it?
So my mission is basically to improve the confidence of professionals, specifically women, to visualize and start to create their career, purposeful career.
Yes.
Yeah.
So needed, especially, you know, in the light of everything that's going on in the world. I think more and more people are really realigning to what they want to do, and how they want to show up as well. So definitely needed.
Yeah.
Where was you? So that's what you're doing with the business right now, right? And what's the name of the business?
The name, well, I have my OH services, Olivia Haltman services, but the actual program is called Transform, Create, and Grow Your Confidence. Yes.
Love that. And so when we started the journey, like when you came across me, where were you with your business at that point?
With this business, basically nowhere. I had it in my mind. I did start an online business-ish, but based on more educational workshop, I found out that they were called. So educational workshops, so really basic information about what mental health is and sexual abuse is and all of these things. And I did like a fibroid course for 4 weeks. So I did some online stuff before. I started like probably 3 or 4 years ago with the idea that I wanted to have like a sort of passive income at some point, because I wanted to record them and then, sell them on Udemy or ThinkFix or one of those things. So that was in my mind, but it didn't really work. I got people signing on, but I'm not to the level that I wanted, and I couldn't see it moving forward. I was definitely missing something, but I couldn't figure out what it was. So I did a little bit of research, YouTube, looking to see how to set it up and do all of these things, and followed all of the things. But obviously I was missing whatever I was missing. I was missing a lot, I realize now.
In retrospect, after setting up.
A lot, yeah. I was just thinking, you just create an Eventbrite page, create your presentation, post it on social media, and the people will just come in. But obviously that is not, it works on a very small level, of a small scale, let's say it like that, but not on how I wanted it to be. I really wanted to sort of grow my business into, in a much, much bigger way. So I was sort of stuck as in like, okay, how am I going to do that? So that's why I was like, I said in my mind, I decided I'm going to have to pay someone who knows what they're talking about. And that's where it sort of all started, to be honest, because I was like, I can't do this alone.
Yeah, because you obviously had a vision and a passion.
Exactly.
To be diligently working towards it and looking at the YouTubes and studying and implementing for a good few years. There was something within it of like, I know I could do this. I'm just missing something.
Yeah, exactly. I really needed the guidance. And I'm always like, well, if people already know how to do it, and the thing is, you can see that so many people are doing it, online stuff, and they all look successful. And I was like, I can do that. And I want in as well. So I really had to sort of shift my mind as in like, well, the only way is that I'm going to have to speak to someone, find someone that already knows what they're talking about. But it's, to be honest, also that there's so many options of that as well, because loads of people that actually also providing what you're providing, but not specifically, to be honest, because you're very, very specific in your clientele. So, and a lot of, I think most people, well, not, depending on what you're looking for, because I see some of the coaches do the same thing. but this is very specific, but loads of people do provide online stuff to teach people how to have a successful online business. But this is very, a specific niche. And I think that's where you stand out specifically.
Yeah, working specifically with practitioners. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about that in a bit as well, because I think that brings a lot of joy to the journey, right? Is what I hear from people. And so with the workshops that you was doing before we kind of got started, at what kind of level financially were they? Like for a ticket into that workshop, or?
Yeah, very low. Some of them I started to do free. So the basic ones, like what is mental health, what is anxiety, what is sexual abuse, those were like 1 hour workshops. They were free at some point, and at some point I did £25.
Yeah.
And the fibroids one was a 4 weeks one, and I only charged, how much was that? It was a while ago. I only charged maybe like £100 or something.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks one. So they would come for 1 hour per week, and then I think I had a bonus week and a one-to-one session if they wanted to speak on me on a personal basis. And I think the most I had on one course was maybe 12 or something.
Yeah.
And it was sort of my limit, because it's quite, it was the emotional impact of fibroids, so it's quite sensitive to start with. And it's not really a topic as well that people run to talk about, but it's very a topic as well that people don't talk about, the emotional impact of fibroids. So that is still the back of my mind, that I still want to do something with that. I mean, I do have, people do approach me for speaking opportunities where I do a presentation on it. I did one 2 months, no, I did one last month, I think, for Global Fibroids Alliance. They had like an event, and I did like a half-an-hour presentation on it. I still do stuff like that. So a little bit still involved with the fibroids, because I think so that's still in the back of my mind, that I still want to do something with that, because it's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know you came with like two ideas. Like it was like, oh, I could do
yes, that's true.
Confidence. I don't know, but these are really two big ideas that I have on confidence of fibroids. And it was like, okay, we're going to run with something, right? The one that's more soul aligned and at that moment, and the other one is coming. We're just gonna get this one up and running, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which was as opposed to trying to dig two holes at the same time. Right? Let's dig one properly and do that. So I remember that, and I love you sharing as well of where you was, because it's quite common when I speak to practitioners, or anyone in our team speaks to practitioners, about how they might be attempting to be a part of the global e-learning market. They have free workshops or very low cost models, and they have their traditional maybe therapy alongside that, and that they put in a lot of work. And then, you had one where you had a full workshop with 12, but I think you had a few times where you tried to do one, didn't it? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Did it fill up every time, or was it
no?
Yeah.
The lowest I had was 4, I think 4 or 5 or something, and then I had 8. I only had full ones.
Yeah.
I think I only run it maybe 4 or 5 times. I think I did it. Yeah. Twice a year, I think I used to do it, something like that. Yeah.
So emotionally, how did you feel when we, and what thoughts were going on when we kind of met, in terms of the way you had been doing things, and it'd been going for a few years, and you were doing workshops, you was helping some people in certain ways, but what did you feel you was missing, or kind of where was you mentally in terms of your thoughts? And
my thought was just stuck in the sense of well, I don't know what the missing key is. It's I'm missing something. I don't have a clue what it is, because you listen to the people who give you tips and advice, and I was like, okay, I'm doing all of these things, and how to boost your posts and all of these different things, and how to make your funnel and and I was just there was just something missing, and I just can't figure out. Everyone is holding this secret for me. It's what am I missing? So I knew I was just stuck. I just felt stuck, and I knew that, especially it was when obviously it was lockdown period in the last year, obviously. And I know for myself what my vision is for myself, as in I want to be abroad, but I want something just to run that I can do anywhere in the world, basically. And that's why I initially started it. Like, I want to start this thing now, just in a few years' time, when I'm going to go wherever I want to go, I don't have to worry because I can take my business with me. So I knew that's the thing that I wanted to do. But then obviously I got stuck. So I felt stuck. And I was like, yeah, I need to shift. Something needs to shift.
Yeah.
But I was always sort of confident in my mind that I was going to do it. I just didn't know how.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because for me, it's like I'm determined that this is going to work. It's going to work. It's just, who said it again? I know, like doing the same thing but expecting a change. It's like I can't keep on doing it because I just need to get out of this stuckness, basically. You know. So that's where I sort of was sort of in my mind. And once I made a decision of, well, I'm gonna step out of it, I just have to find someone that is going to tell me. That's where I was like, okay, I know that's going to be the shift.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what happened, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I remember you saying, like, you know, we had a little chat before we started about you seeing me like a couple of times and then was like, I'm just gonna hop on a call. Right?
Yeah. It was very, very easy and quick in a sense. I just saw you a few times, liked by someone else that I know on LinkedIn, and so it was just like, no, I saw you I think 3 times last year passing by during this last 6 months, and then in January I saw you again. I was like, oh, just book 3 calls. Let me just book a call, and that's how quick it went. I didn't do any research, nothing. Didn't go on any masterclass. As you know, I only saw your masterclass just before I recorded mine, just to see how you did it. I was like, let me actually watch the masterclass. What are her 5 shifts, actually? Because I didn't even know what your 5 shifts were until I did it. So so it can be that simple and quick. It's just the right timing.
Yeah. What was different? Because it might have been, and I don't know because I haven't asked you this actually, but you might have had a call with other people and stuff. So I'm wondering, or you might have seen like other ways, like you mentioned, like obviously there's many different people out there that can help you, you know, declare and helping you set up an online business. So what was the differentiating point, I guess, in that of like, actually, I'm going to jump through with Dr. Talene and her team and get that started.
It was the people that you were targeting. So people like me, it's very specific. It's very niche, because I did watch some other people's joined on some other, I guess, masterclasses, free masterclasses, and made notes and all of that. But they were very general. It was just like, well, build your online business successfully and we'll help you. And you can build anything. But for you, your one was, you know, it was speaking to me. It was speaking to counselors. You know, it was speaking to people in that field. So for me, it was like, well, she is a psychotherapist. She's a psychologist and a behavioral expert. So that really speaks to me because, you know, it's in a similar-ish kind of field. And you were speaking to people with my background specifically. So I think it was the niche as well, specifically because you were speaking exactly as in like, oh, you're a counselor and you want to do more and you feel the ceiling. For me, I don't felt the ceiling, but I know for myself that I like to do different things. I don't just want to do counseling or, you know, I don't want to just do therapy one-to-one. That's why I did also my supervision, because I was like, I want to mix it up. I don't want to just do all of that. And that's why I was also doing workshops, because I started doing workshops like probably, I think it's probably 20 years ago. That's when I actually shift my confidence, because for me, workshops, I would never do that, like never. And that's sort of how I started to sort of improve my confidence with doing workshops. And that's why I like to do different things. I was like, yeah, if I do online stuff next to it, I can sort of, you know, combine it, because it can be quite intense just to see just clients and trauma every day, you know. So you spoke literally to me, and that's what I felt. You spoke to me and understood what I wanted to do. Yes. So I think that was very specific in your service. That stood out from all. That really stood out from all of the other people.
Yeah. And what was it like coming into a community like with other practitioners? How's it been being part of that?
To go to a community without being a practitioner. What do you
No,
mean?
with like, because you're all practitioners in
Okay,
Discovery Way, right? So,
yeah, no, that's very nice, because you don't have to explain loads of things, because you just know that everyone goes through this to the same stuff, and they just understand. You know, and it's just nice to know that there are other people who also want to excel and do other stuff, and sort of are on the same journey as you for different reasons, but you know, and support each other with that. So it's very nice to have that, because it is quite, because yeah, being a counselor, and I work for myself, so I don't work for any organization, so you really work alone. You know, if you work for organizations, then you might have team meetings or that kind of things, or group supervision, but I don't have none of that for a long time. So you do work by yourself. So it's kind of like, you know, you're doing all by yourself. There is no one to sort of feed off. And obviously I do have counselor friends that you speak to and stuff like that, but it's different. So it's nice to have that community to sort of, yeah, it's like a little organization.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like we really feel like a team, you know. And I love like when we all get to meet.
Yeah.
Because that often is the highlight of, you know, the week as well, right?
Yeah. And it really boosts for me. I think I literally only missed it because I went away. I never missed it, because for me it's just, it gives me a boost. As I always say, I like to chill a lot and I drift off a little bit. And then when I'm in the call, then usually afterwards I have this boost. I'm like, yes, I'll do this, and I'm just do all of this work, and I get all of the motivation. And yeah, you might come in with like a little bit low sometimes, or different kind of energy, but then you know, when we have to talk, it's just like really positive.
Yeah.
Really positive. And it's really, yeah, I think it's underestimated sometimes. Oh, it's just a group call, but it's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that accountability, you know, I often hear that people look back at how much they've accomplished, right? You know, and they're like, could I have done that without the like accountability? I'm not sure.
Yeah, accountability is a big one, definitely.
Absolutely. And so how was the leap though for you? So because for you, in your case, you described making the decision, like you had made a decision, like I'm gonna get some help because there's something I'm missing and I want to know what it is, and so I'm gonna get some help. And so it's like you kind of declared and put it out there to the universe of like, this is what I want, and then you started seeing like all these people, and then you jumped on the phone. So I guess the decision kind of made beforehand in some way, right? And then, but even in that moment, like after, you know, you had that call, like how was the actual leap of like, oh my God, I'm doing it, I've made the investment, like, you know, it's like a mentally, financially, like strategic, like what was that like for you?
Yeah, once I was on the call, and then when I made my deposit, I was like, I actually going to do this. It's like literally like sort of a big overwhelming feeling, and almost sort of a nervous feeling, as in like, okay, it's actually going to happen. I'm actually doing it. And then also financially, as in like, okay, let me just move things around. Oh, maybe I don't have to move things around. It's actually better than I thought it was. And that's part of it. That's the financial part actually went like flows, because I think I told you that I was just for the flag in Ghana, right?
Oh yes,
I was at the same thing as like, okay, but I have to sort of put money in there at the time, so there's not. But it actually sort of worked out like without any flaws, to be honest. And when the financial part was only, I think, when I made the deposit, I was just like, I'm gonna spend all of this money. But then at the same time, it went like, yeah, but it's needed because you know where you're going, and it's actually worth it. So don't worry. So that's literally what also happened after that. And I felt calm and sort of, yeah, it's okay, it's fine, because I know where I'm going. So it's in the whole scheme of stuff, that money is nothing, basically, you know? And I think that's also I didn't really worry about the money, and that's how it went, to be honest. It was quite flawless in that kind of way. And then obviously I was getting excited about, you know, starting, and it's like, it's actually going to happen. It's like, I'm on this thing, and it's going to help me to move forward. And so that was sort of the part of the sort of the mindset behind the finance part. And then obviously starting it, I really thought it was going to be boop, 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 you know, like 12 weeks and you just do this and this and this and it's just done. And then obviously after the second week, I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You just have to sort of, you know, I always say tranquila, just relax and just be your usual chill self, because whatever it takes, it's just, you know, just whatever it takes. And I think that's one of the main things that sort of played the most with my mind, that I felt that I had to do it quicker or should do it quicker or should have already seen results here. That I think that was my main thing while I was going through the weeks as well. There was a little bit, it was a short period of time where when we were talking about pricing the program, and I was like, but I didn't. I think my how do you say it? My connection with money or my relationship with money is it's very good in the sense of because I shifted my mind quite before I started this anyway about money. I said like that a while ago, as in like, you know, you have to see money as you know, not that it comes and goes, but if you're not used to the big amounts, then a big amount is going to shock you, but the big amount is nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and the more you speak to, because I used to be a lot of Clubhouse listening to those online people who make crazy money, like literally one guy was just like, I think this is John Araf or something or whatever his name. And he was like, oh yeah, he's speaking and he charges like 10K per hour. And I was just like, for him it's just that £10 or 100 pounds. He speaks as if it's £100. But the thing is, you know, depending on how you position yourself. Yeah. But and what you want to do with it as well. Yeah. You know, we do live in a capitalist world, but you don't have to be part of it. You don't have to use your money like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? As well. So it's you knowing what you're going to do with it in the scheme of in the scheme of how you want to use it. Yeah. So I got very quick after your pep talk as well, very quickly over that, like really, really quick. And because I know that's what people going to say, what some people already saying, but it's just like, well, that's what you think, it's fine. You know, this, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah. And because I'm more about intergenerational wealth. And if you want to think about intergenerational wealth, you can't think about small amounts. You have to think on a bigger scale. You just have to, because you just gotta fall behind. You know, you're gonna stay behind. You have to. So for me, it's like I'm thinking on a much bigger way now. Like, and I'm comfortable with it because I'm like, it's possible. It's like it's literally possible. It's like it's everywhere. And if it's everywhere, then why can't I do it? Yeah. It's like seriously. But that's a whole different story. Going all into it. So yeah, and I'm telling people around me as well. Sorry, I'm just going big. Yeah. I just don't understand why not. It's not to be boasty about it. No one has to know it's there. No one's going to know that it's going to be there, if you know what I mean, because I'm not going to flash this and flash that. Let's hope not. But, you know, because some people change when the money comes, but I almost sure that I'm not going to be like that. So it's like, yeah, intergenerational wealth for the people, for the children that are coming, that they don't have to struggle, you know, they don't have to struggle with certain things, because the land is there, the money is there, there is a solid ground for them to sort of be in this world that is already with loads of challenges, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very passionate about it, as you can see, because I'm into it.
I feel a third course after the fibroids. I feel another
intergenerational wealth.
I feel another course, you know, but it's so true. It's so true. And I love that you're sharing this, because I want people to hear as well, like how connected you are, right, with that, and passionate, and the shift that's happened from being in a place of trying to get this online business started and offering these workshops and £25 here and free here, and, you know, and wanting to give back, and then shifting and being like, actually, the whole business model can shift to a way where I get to help people in a bigger way, right? Yeah. They get better results, and I can build generational wealth as well. So it's huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah. I think so, and it's very interesting because you know, when they say you live in the moment, or you live as if it's already happened. And my stepdaughter, she's 25, so, and she's very much with her, like, you know, likes to buy stuff or whatever. And she said to me the other day, she said, Liz, do you have a side hustle? She's like, you're so rich. She's like, you always have money. And do you have a side hustle? And I'm thinking, I said, I'm just working, you know. I'm just trying to show her how to do stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But she just literally thinks that, but I am, in a sense, if you know what I mean. So she's like, she just literally says that I'm rich. I'm thinking, you would know, but it's good because that's probably how maybe I present myself in a sense. Not that I'm trying to spend that I don't have, because I don't spend what I don't have, to be honest. But one way or the other, that's how she just experienced me. And I was just like surprised when she said that. And I was like, that is very interesting, because I don't splash money or whatever, but she still thinks that I always have money. But I mean, I always do have money, but it's like, you know, I'm not rich as in like zeros behind my bank account and that kind of way. But she can feel that energy, I assume, or sees that. And trying to teach her, you know, give her sort of, you know, little tips and advice, whatever.
And how you're working, right? You're doing what you love. That has you know, has huge amounts, because I also feel there's that misconception of that if you are earning money, you should be hating what you're doing, slogging your guts out, and really, you know, annoyed. And so that's probably part of the energy that she feels as well, of like, wow, like, you know,
it's flawless. It looks flawless.
Are you happy?
And also that when she comes, I'm like chilling or whatever, because I don't work every day. And so she thinks like, well, how come that she's not like working behind off, and you know, looks like she's chilled, but she's comfortable. It's like, it's so funny.
You know, and you get to do things in your own way. Like, I know your event was an evening event, right? But it was from the comfort of your own home, and you was able to be there for 30 people, you know, 30 people registered, and be there online in your home. Like, how did that, being able to do that, like, it's part of your own business, your own impact. It doesn't feel, I'm imagining it didn't feel like, oh, I've got to go work at.
No. I never wake up feeling like that. That's so true. I really love what I do. I really, really do. I tell people that as well. I really love what I do. And when my clients, I just feel lucky. Or when I finish with my clients, and all of my clients are really aligned with how I work as well. So I have clients that are complex, but they do the work themselves, really. To be honest. And it's so, it goes quite easy in that kind of way. So it's very nice. I mean, I always look forward to speak to my clients. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely, also the thing, the connection that there is. And that's why with the program, I'm you know, there's always some nervousness, but I'm looking forward to work in a different way with people as well within the program, and to sort of support them. Because sometimes I do feel that I have certain clients, because I do have clients that are basically my avatar, but I can't work with them the way that I would work in a program, because they're coming for counseling, obviously. So it's quite restricted in counseling. And I sometimes do catch myself bringing little parts of my program into my counseling, the way that I ask my questions and stuff like that. And sometimes I do feel like I'm mismotivated. Sometimes it's like I really go into it, and I just really enjoy it. I'm like, I'm really going to enjoy when I'm going to start my program. In the beginning, I know that it's going to be like, oh, what am I doing? But I know that once the role is there, that I'm really, really going to enjoy the program, because it's really it's connected to my heart in that kind of way. That's why as well, you were asking before, you said to me in the beginning when we started, okay, you need to choose between confidence, thyroids, which one are you going to choose? And then obviously confidence was more to my heart, because that's what I've been going through. Thyroids, I don't really have a own connection with that, because I didn't really have specific issues with it, but I'm just passionate because I'm helping women with that. So it's a little bit different, but the confidence is really linked to me and my confidence. So I was like, it has to be confidence, because that is definitely me, you know, or was definitely me. And I'm still working on certain things anyway, in regards to my confidence as well. So I really connected to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been able to as well beautifully. I know sometimes people have the questions around like keeping their traditional practice, like the one-on-one way, and then building this separately. And you've been able to do that, right? You know, many people do choose to do that, and that works as well.
And I will keep on doing that. I'm sort of in my mind, I'm really trying to sort of figure out how that's going to work to still keep my crises, and some of my clients, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because I was expecting it to kick off a little bit early, so I did sort of reduce my client hours a little bit
Mm-hmm.
2 months ago, but then I realized, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, so I sort of boosted it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of working for yourself, because you are able to do that, to sort of
Mm-hmm.
reduce your clients and decide how many clients you're going to take on. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely will still do my one-to-one because I really like it.
Yeah.
And then this I will do as well, because at some point I'm going to try to, well, I already have someone who's helping me admin wise a little bit with certain bits and pieces. So I'm going to speak to her next week as well about,
Mm-hmm.
if this really kicks off, how that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I didn't figure it out in regards of,
Admin and
now she's a
support,
volunteer.
and the team and stuff will come,
Yeah,
and it will grow as it is. But
yeah,
the bigger thing is like that you can have it your way. You can
yeah,
totally, in whatever way it would be for anybody. Like it's
yeah,
about, that's the beauty in it. Like many people do different things, and just being able to create that leverageable, scalable,
yeah,
piece of what they do that is also enjoyable and impactful and has an overflow, right?
yeah,
As well,
definitely.
which is amazing. um I guess as well, one of the interesting questions I love to ask is, now in retrospect, like, why for you was this like a great business investment for you?
Because my vision is coming true. I needed this for my vision to come true, because otherwise I would still be stuck now and thinking, oh, how to do it, and trying to figure out. So it's very important to make that shift, to actually do what I planned to do in my mind. And for my vision to come true, I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. I can't see that how my mind works, that I would make it successful on the level of how you have been, teaching us how to do that, with so much ins and outs, and specific. I like the way that it's so specific, because I never really thought it was going to be. Because I remember when I first wrote my mission, I said, I want to help. I want to improve people's confidence. You're like, people? You can't help all people. Even with like this, people. It's like, oh, okay, never. Because yeah, as in general, counselors, it's like you just people. It's like there's no, and a lot of people don't have a niche of people of clientele specifically. So I was like, oh, I never really even thought about that. So it's all of those things, a lot of things I just didn't think about in details, of even writing my mission and my vision, and writing my avatar, and really getting into it and being so specific about stuff, and also adding obviously the belief statements, and writing things down, and to really sort of focus, in a whole different way. And I think that's very important. And I think for me that was also a challenge, because, as I said before, I just work sometimes with how things come, and don't think that I can be that focused all the time. But they sort of push me to be focused. And I personally think I could be more focused, but no, I was focused. I'm focused enough to do what I need to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Let's say it like that. But I know that I could push myself, but I'm not really a person that, like, I'm not really, how can I say it? I'm not really, how can I say it? I always work with how I feel and how it comes. So even though I know I can push myself, and I was like, why would I push myself? Because I think if I push myself, I'm not going to enjoy it, I think, maybe as well. So I still need to have that enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well. So when stuff is like, oh, then yeah, I think for the long term it's going to be like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. So I sort of tell myself that.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, I still did I still achieved a lot. If when I look back. I did all of that. And don't even talking about the technical stuff. Whew, that was the hardest part, the technical stuff.
Yeah.
To go through. That's where I really had to focus. It's like I just switch it off and just do it, and just focus, and just, everything that is new, you have to learn. And once you know it, that's the thing. I know once I know it, it's gonna be flawless. It's just what I'm doing. I know where to find stuff and things like that. And I just push myself through that. I think that was probably the most challenging part.
Yeah.
For me, the technical stuff to put all of the flows together and the pipelines together and the back part of the Facebook and all of that. Like, oh, a lot of work. But
you did it. You did it, right? You did it.
Really did it. It's like amazing that I actually did it.
And I remember you saying as well, very much so, how it was quite a surprise about all the kind of personal growth and development that happened in the process as well.
Oh yes, yeah. And the interesting journey of actually going through what my avatar was going through as well, with certain things, you know, like reaching the milestones that you put down that your avatar should reach.
Yeah.
So funny. I remember being on a call with Emma Jean and she was just laughing. She was like, but that's just your last milestone. You're going through your own last milestone. I'm like, yeah, I know. And that's the last milestone. And I'm going through the motions. I mean, it's challenging and it's like interesting to go through, but I personally like stuff like that because I love personal development. I really love it. I really do when I go to stuff like that because I learn a lot about myself, and I literally learned a lot about myself to go through all of that. It's like, was that there? I didn't even know that thought was there until this happened. And now I have to deal with this, but it's fine because I need to deal with it. That's why it comes up. So
absolutely.
Let's just deal with it. Let's just go with it.
Absolutely. And I love that because I know, you know, that I could have developed this all in just strategy on do this, do that, do this, do the next. But that would limit people's ability to be successful. And so that personal development piece has to go alongside it. And and so I'm glad you love that as well.
I mean, mindset is everything. I mean, you know better than me anyway, that mindset is everything, literally, and how powerful it is, and just to experience the power of that. Because I remember as well that at some point, probably to do with something technical, I'm almost sure it was that, and I went in a sort of dip, like for 2 hours, I was just so miserable, and I was just sitting like that. And even my partner said, like, what's wrong with you? I was like, just leave me alone. And then after 2 hours, like, why are you doing it to yourself? And it's literally that question shifts everything in like 1 second.
Yeah.
You know, just the power of like the acknowledgement and realizing and just telling yourself, isn't like, what is this helping you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been sitting there for 2 hours, soaking, and I couldn't get out of it from the start. But it's like just the realization and just the experience of like just the reflection, as in like, but why? It's like nothing even went wrong specifically or something, you know.
Yeah. And
literally in 1 second, just like, okay, I'm fine now.
The
power of that is just crazy to me. Like just your mind, just
absolutely,
you know, madness, and just experiencing that. You just know. For me, the more you experience that, the more you know that you can get yourself out of anything, literally, and life can be just so much lighter and less stressful if you can realize that you have that power of mind, you know.
Absolutely.
And I love that. So I have a lot of that in my course as well, obviously. Because even yesterday when I was doing the course, because a lot of stuff all of the 5 shifts are really mindset things. And I didn't speak that much about, you know, getting your purposeful career. And I explained, well, I didn't speak a lot about your purposeful career because when you go to the 5 shifts, that will come automatically. And it's not only your dream career is going to come, your life is going to shift in a big level because of those 5 shifts. So, and I just have to make sure that, because at some point when I was looking at my 12 modules, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to put obviously something in about practical things of building a business or creating a dream career. And I almost forgot about that. And I was like, no. So I think as well that I probably will have 2 meetings as well during the week, because I need to have one probably for the career building as well. So and I almost forgot about it because in my mind it's like, well, they will get there anyway. It's like literally it makes sense, but then I have to put it in because obviously that's how I'm promoting it. The career, so it has to be there.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty in being just a bit more fluid and flexible in how people are developing their, you know, programs, and having that and just knowing that it's going to evolve the more people you work with and take through it as well, right? But also I love what you were saying that about mindset and how important it is and the power of it, and because you then have the tools or the memories, the things I might have said when you're there by yourself, or the community to come into. I know people come in and be like, oh, you know, yeah, like this is going on or whatever, and reaching out to everybody, like your team, like you seeing that as your team, and you're able to come forward. So much goodness, right? And I really feel people will get lots of nuggets out of this, of what it takes to build a successful career, right? Regardless of whether they come in to discover a new way or not, it really is about that. It's like work. It's work. And you don't know what you don't know.
As well.
You don't know what you don't know. So I would love to just know from you, if there's somebody that is hearing this, watches this, and is maybe in a similar position to where you was, of trying to make it work online in terms of trying to build generational wealth, trying to have an impactful like life and contribution and build up a legacy, but they're just feeling a bit lost, what words you would give them in terms of how to navigate this stage of their life?
Well, I would say trust your instincts, trust your feeling, because I think that's one of the main things. And if you know where you want to go, then follow the route. Make a decision where you want to go, and the answers will come, to say it like that. The answers will come. And it's focusing on what leads you, maybe, in a sense, focusing on, how can I say that? Focusing on your journey. If you're stuck and you know, for example, you want to build, just like I was saying, want to build an online business, just make a decision on maybe how you want to do it, or make a decision on what the end is going to be, and then the ends will come. It sounds a little bit weird in a sense, but maybe don't stress too much about it, knowing that it's going to happen as well, or don't worry too much about it, because sometimes when we worry or stress about things, then sometimes it actually delays it, because you're focusing on the thing that doesn't work as well. So it's really focusing on your outcome. Like, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what's going to happen. You know, and because for me, once you make up your mind what it's going to be, it's trusting that it's going to happen. Everything that comes on your path is part of what it needs to happen for the outcome. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, but you need to connect with your instinct, with your own energy, to sort of know that it's going to happen, because it makes life much easier. And sometimes there will be things on your path where you're like, oh, why am I experiencing this? It doesn't matter, you can experience it, but the outcome is going to come. This is needed to get to the outcome. And trusting that. Trusting whatever is coming on your path, that just work through it until you get there and make that decision.
Yes, absolutely. I love that, the power of what you're asking yourself, like allowing yourself to see the outcome, and then allows yourself to see the things that are going to take you to that outcome, and you trusting your instinct in that as well. Powerful. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Olivia, especially on the back end of doing an event as well. So I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. All right, but keep on keeping on, and we'll stay connected.
Yes.
All right, then,
take care. Okay, take care. Bye.